I just reached 50,000 YouTube subscribers, and I wanted to tell you about it immediately because I think it'll help you with your company. 50,000 subscribers. Now, the big numbers you want to pay attention to are that in the last 4 weeks alone, almost half of those subscribers have come in. In the last 1 week alone, more than 100,000 new people have discovered my YouTube channel, and about 12,000 of them became subscribers. So a fourth of all of my subscribers came in the last 7 days. Even saying that blows my mind. So I started my YouTube channel a few years ago. I really started it in earnest about a year and a half ago. And in the last 8 or 9 months, I've gone all in, really thinking about YouTube 24/7. How can I make it better? How can I deliver value to you, the viewer? If you're new to the channel, my name is Arlan. I was homeless 10 years ago, and over the last decade, I've raised more than $30 million and invested in more than 200 startups. I've also generated millions of dollars in revenue for my companies and others. And so I started my YouTube channel to give some insights and some actionable tips to help 1,000 people make their first $1 million. It's a lofty goal, but I knew that YouTube would help me. So this is for practical advice and actionable strategies that you can use in your business today. And if you don't have a business, it helps you create one. So let's talk about the numbers. How did I get to 50,000 subscribers at the end of August 2024 when I only had 6,000 at the beginning of this year? And how did I get 12,000 new subscribers in the last 7 days? Well, it started with planning and strategizing, a major part of this. I had a goal around November of last year to just go all in on YouTube for a full year, no matter how many views I was getting, just to see if it would work, to see if people would watch. Consistency has been really important, and it hasn't been about posting at a very certain time of day or posting on a certain day of the week. It's really been about just showing up week after week and working on YouTube, whether I post or not. And in the last few weeks, I decided to try for quality and quantity. The question is, do you focus on quality or quantity? The last few months, it's been so important to me to focus on quality. That's what is most important. When you're first starting out, quantity also helps you because it helps you get your reps in, it helps you learn, and it helps you get your voice out there. So you get over that hurdle of being nervous or worried about what people might think of you. A few weeks ago, I decided to try both at the same time. I said, what would it look like to post a video almost every single day that is the equivalent of a video that it would take me a week or a month to put together? And I knew it would be a lofty goal, but I wanted to see what would happen. And boy, things took off immediately. I think the fact that I talk about making money, creating wealth, and having a sustainable path for those two things is very important. There are a lot of channels that are about getting rich quick, and that really wasn't what I was interested in. I wanted to help, and I still do want to help you have a sustainable path to generating revenue. The reason is no one is coming to save us. And once I learned how to generate revenue, how to raise capital, both of those things, I got myself out of the circumstances of being homeless. I was homeless until I was 34 years old, and I was living out of an airport. I was living out of motels. I was living out of cars. None of it was cool. All of it sucked, and I never want to go back there again. So I've always had this thing about me that was searching for meaningful, impactful ways to generate income. I also think that the fact that the videos that I produce are authentic and practical help as well, because I'm talking about building generational wealth, which will take time, and I'm honest about that. But I'm also helping you start at the beginning. I'm finding you where you are. Many people who watch my YouTube channel are just getting started, or they're in a 9-to-5 job that they really hate, or they're in a 9-to-5 job that they like, but they're always looking for a little bit more, some sort of side hustle or something that is a passion project. And by talking about my past, which is relatable, and talking about how step by step by step, I changed my circumstances, I've really created a way for people to bridge over to what I'm teaching. Another thing that I've noticed is that because I have started to build this community on YouTube, check the comments, for instance. Like the comments are going off. So for instance, I'll say to you, if you're still watching this, type in the word red, R-E-D. Type that word in the comments if you're still with me, if you're learning something. When I do this call to action, people comment and they start to meet each other and talk to each other. And I've noticed that that has really helped too, both because of the algorithm, YouTube saying, hey, there are people who are interacting, they must like the video, and also because people come back to read the comments that they left. The next thing that I did was focus heavily on metrics, statistics, things that I could look at in the YouTube Studio dashboard that will give me data-driven analysis that help me with my next videos. It may sound like a lot, but actually it's a lot of fun. What you can do is you can post your first videos. It doesn't have to be great. It just needs to come from your heart. It needs to be meaningful to you. You post those videos and one by one, you go into the studio and you look at how many views you're getting, how many likes you're getting, how long people are sticking around and what they're watching. YouTube even tells you when someone dips out and they leave your video, or when there's a spike and someone rewinds because they just have to watch that part again. So all of this information, and there are so many data points within YouTube Studio, it's ridiculous. All of this information will help you make some data-driven and informed decisions about what to do next. Every day I look at these analytics and I look at user behavior, drop-off time, watch time, engagement time, click-through rates, which topics are performing best, and so on and so forth. Another thing I do is a A/B test. This is when you try more than one thumbnail or more than one title or some sort of combination, and you leave the video up for a few hours and you look at the metrics based on one side of things, the A, compared to the B, which is the other option that you have. This year in 2024, YouTube even allowed most channels, if you're monetized, to be able to test next to each other 3 different thumbnails. This is really interesting because before you'd have to either go to a third party to test this, or you'd have to manually change the thumbnail and watch and to hope that you could figure out which one was working best. But now YouTube lets you upload 3 thumbnails and you can compare them to each other, and it tells you what percentage of each thumbnail is winning, essentially. Now, if this is interesting to you, I have a membership called Arlan's All Access, and it's where I teach 1,000 people how to make an additional $100,000. We're talking about memberships, we're talking about YouTube, deep dive, amazing experts, all of that, about how to use YouTube to explode your brand in the best possible way. If you're interested, go to the link in the description below. Another great lesson I've learned over the past few months is that what really matters is the content. It really matters that your content is strong. Now, there are a few things that you learn about YouTube over time, and you can learn it for free by just looking on YouTube and studying on YouTube, or you can learn it faster by joining Arlan's All Access. But either way, there are a few things you learn. Let's call it 15 or 20 quick things to learn. And once you know these rules of engagement, you can pretty much get the views you're looking for. You can even become monetized, and YouTube would pay you to post. But the number one thing I can tell you right now is that authenticity wins. No matter what your production budget is, whether you're doing a Mr. Beast style, look them up if you don't know what I'm talking about, or you're doing what I'm doing, which is going onto Zoom, using my MacBook camera and uploading, working with an editor to deliver the most authentic version of this, and just sending it out and posting almost every day. No matter what you do, from one extreme to the other and everything in between, your authenticity is what is going to stand out the most. So these things that you learn, like thumbnails and titles and hooks, they will get people to click, but you have to get them to stay. And retention is just as important as clicks. Here are a few quick more lessons I want to tell you. I want to jam pack this video with information you can use today. One thing I learned was the power of momentum. By consistently delivering value and watching that with the analytics, I was able to use the power of the momentum of YouTube to get even more views. So who knows how long it'll take me to get the next 50,000. But what I can tell you is when I reach 100,000 subscribers, I will be sure to come back and make a video about it and tell you how I did it. That reminds me, if you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button now. My analytics tell me that more than 30% of the people who watch my videos are still not subscribed. So if you think about it right now, stop what you're doing and hit the subscribe button. Community is huge. It's a big growth driver. So whatever you're doing, when you talk to the camera, whether it's education or entertainment, remember that there are people on the other side of that camera who are watching. They're real people. If you're getting 50 views, 100 views, 1,000 views, and you're worried that someone else is getting 1,000,000 views, so you think it's not enough, just imagine 150, 1,000 people in one space in front of you, and you're standing in front of them and you're talking to them. Can you imagine what that would feel like? That is the power you have with YouTube. Every single view and every single viewer counts. And then there's the idea of adapting. This is fun. This is a big experiment that I'm doing. I don't get too stressed about YouTube. I really have a good time with it. And if my numbers dip on a day-to-day basis, who cares? It's an experiment. It's really, really cool. So the idea of adapting and trying something and seeing it work and just being utterly surprised by some of the results. Like when I woke up one day in the last few days and I had 1,800 new subscribers over the 24-hour period, it blew my mind. And I love that. But if I were to chase that, I would no longer find value in this process, and it would make me want to stop doing it after a while. So just have fun with it. That's a really important thing to remember. You can use YouTube to build your brand, whether it's your personal brand or your business or both, and have a fun, fulfilling time doing it. If you want to learn more and you want to collapse time and get to your results faster, consider joining Arlan's All Access. It is my community, it's my group. There are more than 250 people who have joined in the past few days alone. By the time you see this, that number would have ballooned. We will welcome you with open arms. It is an incredibly collaborative space, and I'm learning something new every day. I'm in the space every single day, and I'm also doing live sessions every single week. So come join us, hang out, and make an additional $100,000 over the next 12 months with us.